Take the Wrestling Podcast coming to you on October 14th, 2022. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian, alongside Mikey B.
Jeff Bezos paid how much for this shit?
I don't know. Producer Jim?
Too much. He paid. Well, no, it doesn't matter because he's getting it paid back in droves because we're like drug addicts, man. We can't get enough of the National Football League.
I thought you said you get enough of Amazon.
Yeah, of course.
Well, that too. We can't avoid that either. My wife and I, we've like the only time we've ever had Prime is if we got like a free month or like a, $2 for the next month trial or something like that. We just bought it for the friggin' year because we're like, we're going to be watching football for the next 16 weeks. There we go. There you go, Bezos.
I think I pay like $6 a month for mine.
So we got a special guest on the show here on loan for the Mindless Wrestling Podcast, our good friend Robert Bonnette. Rob, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. Good to be here.
Yes. We'll have Joe Lopez with us in a little bit. Hopefully, we'll see.
I can confirm that Joe Lopez is not sleeping on my couch.
That's a first. That's
progress. Okay. So anyway, tonight's show should be fun. We let you guys down again because unfortunately for the second week in a row post, we don't have our September Wrestlers of the Month. It is not Mike's fault. This is the record.
Go
ahead, Mike. What you want to say?
I mean, it might be my fault. I worked a lot this week. If Joe gets me his list by tomorrow, what I'll do is I'll just put up the 25 participants that got enough points to be part of the ballot, and then I'll just post a picture of those 25, and then we'll do the updated scoring next week for the Wrestler of the Year ballot.
Well, hopefully he shows up. That's right. Well, hopefully he shows up so we can do his overrated, underrated WCW Luchadors topic.
Boy, you guys are fucked in this one.
I'll tell you about it. We'll also have this week.
Milano 6.
Well, Wrestlers of the Week, of course. Wrestlers of the Week, of course. Bray Wyatt's back in WWE. We're going to discuss how this run could be successful. We'll see about that. Another game of heel versus face.
Hold on. Before we continue, Big Jim, was that the Kyle Nash Tool Time dance that I
kinda, yeah.
I know. It was
that's the most dancing you're getting out of me. I'm 37, I'm fat, and I'm white. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was watching the show Tuesday, as you guys know, the Huddle Up podcast. Ding. Which you can find on the Big Jim podcast networks. I'm not gonna say you can find it anywhere.
No, what I'm saying.
So I'm sitting there, and I just love the fact that Kyle left, and Jim goes, "Oh, I miss Kyle's dance." As I'm typing that out, so of course I hit send, and as Ernest is like rambling on about how bad his power rankings are, or whatever the fuck he was talking about, Kyle pops back in. I was so waiting for you just to play the song again.
I should have.
You really should have actually did like a take two.
I literally said in the chat, like, play the song.
There's a lot going on. There's a lot
going on here. But tonight we are doing a first string of probably 4 weeks, maybe longer, of NXT watch-alongs, of War Game watch-alongs. War Games!
War Games! War Games! War Games! War Games!
And Mr. Michael Bernier here. Michael. You have just chosen for this week the 2017 NXT TakeOver War Games. Was this the first one they did?
I'm just gonna run them in order.
So this was the first one they did.
This was the return of War Games.
Okay.
What I will say, because we won't have the volume on for ourselves, but you at home can turn the volume on if you want. Not like traditional War Games. This is 3 teams of 3.
Okay.
So a little bit different of a take. If I'm not mistaken, it was Sanity, which is Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane, versus the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong, versus Adam Cole Bebe, Robert W. Fish, and our good friend Jim.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So, yeah.
We're dorks.
I believe that was the lineup for this one. Up until, I guess, did they have a War Games pandemic or no for NXT?
No.
No, I think
That's
yeah,
my luck.
they skipped that.
2019 is the last one they did.
Yeah.
Oh
so
no,
this-
no, they did. Yeah, sorry, they did have one in 2020.
They
That
did?
was one of the-
It was McAfee and his crew versus the Undisputed Era, wasn't it?
yeah,
Oh yes.
Oh, shit, you're right, Rob.
yes.
You're right. Yeah. They didn't
What-
do one since then.
So, funny thing here, after a couple Sundays from now, Survivor Series, it'll be the first time ever that the Undisputed Era will not be involved in a WWE version of War Games.
Yeah,
point.
that's a good stat there. So we're gonna get started in a couple of seconds here for the listeners at home. To timestamp this, of course, NXT Takeover Season 4, Episode 5, to make it easier to track this down, because of course Peacock does things different from the original network, of course. So what is what it is. The timestamp
Right on the
Yeah.
cock.
the timestamp is 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 27 seconds. So if you have to pause this podcast to get caught up, do so now. Otherwise, if you're ready to go, we can get this party started. Mike, count us down.
Hold on, I gotta turn my volume down. All right, going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. War Games.
All right, NXT Takeover.
War games! War games! War games! War games!
So this is my
If you
first
don't like that sounder,
it's the best.
you're gonna hate the next few weeks.
Yeah.
It's almost as good as the Shane McMahon.
Oh, we're doing that.
Oh, we're doing
No,
that.
we're not doing it. We don't have to.
Too late. His face right points to the fucking soundboard already.
The best!
I'll do the short
in
one.
The world!
Hopefully, don't want to mark.
The normal one.
Give me Hillbilly.
No, this one's just the regular one.
Ah.
Shane McMahon!
Yeah,
I love NXT black and gold graphics. By the way, fucking fantastic.
Yeah, they were different. Like they always were different. And that
Edgier too.
Why does Alexander Wolf look like he just did all of Tony Khan's cocaine?
Why does Undisputed Era look like a fucking boy band?
I mean, because it's Adam Cole's pretty eyes. That's why. I mean, like on a serious note, since we are talking about the Undisputed Era, and a lot of reports today as we're recording that Adam Cole's concussion situation is more serious than originally thought, and there's reportedly, again, you got to take what you get sometimes when it comes to wrestling reporting, but some concern over Adam Cole's wrestling future. So well, I know we touched on that on 3CT tonight.
Okay.
So obviously wishing him the best. Also, we brought up again Randy Orton back injury. Some reports lately there's legitimate concern about him ever returning to the ring.
Really?
So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah. I mean, for him, you got to figure age is a factor there too. What, even if you get your back to the point where you're no longer in pain or in minimal pain, why are you going to come back and wrestle even for one more match? But obviously we wish Adam Cole and Randy Orton the very best, and hopefully they will get better. Not even for wrestling, for themselves. That's
because
priority number one.
Because I've had back pain before, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It absolutely sucks.
Especially if it's lower back. Especially if it's lower back. Oh God, that's a fucking cripple.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, but yeah. So I don't know the nature of his injury, but
so I'm assuming this is pre Roderick Strong joining the Undisputed Era, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
This was pre Bobby Fish blowing out every fucking ligament in his knee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally why Roddy ended up actually. I mean,
joining.
The goal may have been to get him there eventually because they were all in Ring of Honor together at one point. But they definitely got there quicker than I think they wanted to because Fish blew his ACL out after winning the fucking tag titles.
So there's not a single person in this match that is still in the company, right?
Roddy is still there.
Roddy's still there.
That's right. That's right. He is still in
Roddy and his shitty little boots.
Diamond Mine. Yeah.
Look, the scene they had this week was just, I mean, it was hilarious. Him in the hospital in a wheelchair and a neck brace.
I laughed.
And they were playing like the sad inspirational music behind it.
Well, like something like that.
Yeah, yes.
I wish I was watching this shit in real time. And
another match that I won't give a shit about watching on Tuesday night.
Which match is that?
Chris Jericho versus Dalton Castle.
Oh,
fuck! That's right. Dynamite is on Tuesday next week, right?
Tuesday.
Are they? Because
this week because of the playoffs, I think.
Okay.
Or basketball.
Yeah.
Is the NBA opening night takes priority on that one?
Mm-hmm. That's their.
I mean, they gotta probably show LeBron drinking a blue Gatorade or something, you know.
So I might actually watch that because look, I mean, I'm a ROH fan, and so and I do like Dalton Castle, even though I know he's not going to win.
Right. Oh, look, it's Arn and Dustin.
It is Arn.
Yep. They call him the natural.
Right, because Dusty created the match, right?
Yep.
Correct.
Is anyone else listening to Arn's podcast? That's still a thing. Like I saw.
I have a couple of times. I mean, basically, he basically just recounts his career every week, just from what I've listened to.
Yeah. Because every episode I saw like last year when I still was subscribed was a like not a best of, was like him talking about just like his career and like random things. There was nothing like specific topic. It was just like random things. That's it. I'm like, okay. Well,
Yeah, because I mean I came up on old Jim Crockett NWA, so
yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, you're definitely
so listening to Arn tell some of those stories is is good stuff for me.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
But then look, he had the promo of the year last year. I don't care what anybody says.
Arn, was that the one with Cody?
Yeah, when he's gonna pull out the Glock and split.
Yes, that one. Yes,
on the concrete.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that was a good one. The memes were great in that one. There wasn't a meme like NRA backward stands for Arn.
Yeah,
that's what it's from.
That's right.
Yeah,
that was the best, dude. I'm glad Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I still go back and watch that little promo over now.
Did anybody see the spoilers for Friday night's Rampage or no?
No.
I did not. I mean, I'm not going to watch the show.
Anyway, you can go and tell it. I don't care.
Rampage.
I saw who came out at the end.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Who was that?
Maria Kanellis, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven.
Oh, okay.
They came out to challenge FTR for the Ring of Honor tag titles.
Interesting.
Hey,
interesting because their contract just expired at Impact.
Might actually get to see FTR wrestle for once. That'll be a change.
It's been at least a month, right? Maybe longer.
It feels like it's been forever. Look at that! Sanity was ahead of the game on the pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah! 3 years early.
And the return of Shawn Spears.
Yeah, he came back on Dynamite.
Wait,
woohoo! Apparently,
oh my God! Who the hell cares?
Dude, there are not a lot of people in wrestling that I give a shit less about than Shawn Spears.
He's a chairman. He's a chairman, though.
Truthfully, good for him.
Good
for him.
No, there's only one chairman I recognize, and that is La Parka. Okay.
There you go. That's the real chairman. Man, Shawn Spears could not give a shit about him. Cool, you were cute. You said the number 10 in NXT. Great job, asshole. Like, man, couldn't. Nope. Who cares? Big who cares?
So I'm excited about this match. It's the first time seeing it.
You've never seen this? Okay.
No, he doesn't watch NXT.
I only actually have watched like really like the the ones I need to watch. Like you told me watch the Bailey Sasha.
Oh man,
so
you're about to go through a journey over the next.
That's I'm excited about this. I'm really excited about this.
He's about to go through a roller coaster of emotions.
Yes,
it sure is, man.
I'll turn my volume up for this part. I love Shock System.
Hey, let me.
Me too.
Volume goes up for this shit when I see it.
Periodically, I'll pull up the audio just a little bit. That theme fucking slapped, man.
Dude, I play in the
Yes.
car all the time. Take
Oh.
my kids to school in the morning. Play it all the time.
It fucking slapped.
Yeah,
It really
Eli
did.
loves it too. My son loves it too.
Like I love Cole's theme in AEW, but man,
Of course.
the fucking Undisputed Era theme is so good.
Well, the other reason I got into NXT in the first place.
Was that Undisputed Era?
Yeah.
Robert,
They would do me
Robert
in.
W. Fish.
Yeah. You can fry fish.
He
Bobby
look,
Fish
I
can fry
mean,
fish.
you got to give it to Fish though. He looks great for 73. I mean, he really does.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, the man looks great for.
Yeah. And look, he was in the main event on the Impact this week.
Was he really?
Yeah, he challenged Josh Alexander for the Impact World Title.
Please tell me Alexander won.
Oh yeah, Alexander won.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, now Alexander is excellent, man.
I just find it fascinating.
Speaking of Impact, Bully Ray and
yeah.
Money in the Bank, basically. What the
Ugh.
hell?
Wait. Say it again. Wait, what, Jim?
So they do what's it called? The
Call your shot.
yeah, it's like an intergender match where the winner gets a trophy, and they it's basically like a Money in the Bank. You get to call your
nacho cheese, baby.
Yeah,
where you get to get a title match at any time. And fucking Bully Ray was a surprise entrant and won the damn thing.
Really?
Bully Ray in 2022.
What the
Who
fuck
booked this
are we
shit?
doing here?
I mean,
You tell me.
You want to question that one? Can we question the X Division title decision?
Oh, that was
Kazarian?
Let's
Yeah, that
take
was
the
a
title
choice.
off of Mike Bailey for him to then say, I'm going to cash in option C and fight Josh Alexander for the world title, and now we're going to have a title tournament for the X Division title. Like, tell me any more that you don't give a fuck about the X Division title right now.
Yeah, but at least there, I mean, like, Kazarian's like a fucking legacy in that company.
Yeah, but
And
it sucks for Mike Bailey.
it does, but
Yeah.
like Bailey's gonna be fine. Like,
Well, look, it's two guys that tried to start their own wrestling company and end up scamming fans.
oh man, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that's what happened? Really? Wow. Okay.
Oh yeah.
so people didn't get refunded for that shit?
I don't know. I stopped.
That was the one, the show in London, Britain, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We actually previewed that on this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good lineup, but then it didn't happen.
That's like the most indie wrestling thing ever. I mean, there's been a lot of indie companies put together a great lineup and then go, oops, sorry guys.
Fucked around, found out.
Card subject to change, or card subject did not happen.
The Paul Ellering, man. The legend.
Oh yeah.
And Roderick Strong.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I guess the injury bug got those guys, because I'm like,
Oh yeah, they stayed hurt, man.
Oh, yeah.
it's such a shame, because I really feel like they could have been something.
Even WWE on the main roster, I thought they were getting some ground in 2020, and then between injuries and COVID.
Well, the other thing that they went on to
Interception.
the main roster, and Paul Ellering stopped being involved with them.
Yeah, I didn't understand that decision either.
But like, obviously, he didn't want to travel. But
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
The real problem with that is neither one of them could cut a promo to save their fucking life. So how am I supposed to take you serious as a tag team title contender whenever you can't even cut a promo about who you're facing?
Yeah.
Fair point.
Adam Page's promo from last night's Dynamite was better than any promo that these guys could fucking figure out fucking ever in their life. So, I mean,
By the way, how's that crowd yesterday in Toronto? For that
obviously we're not talking about that, but is there anybody that can cut a better promo right now whenever you know he's not going to win a title match than Adam Page? It makes you actually give a fuck about the title match, even though
I mean, that's a great point. Like, you gotta make him believe, and he makes you believe.
Literally, like when he lost to Phil in May, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely losing the title." But his promos made me actually give a fuck about going and watching that match.
Well, and again, like last night, like there was some realism. Like, you know, there was hidden meaning. There was quote unquote live rounds. And the sad thing is, I would like to say that, you know, a smart booker would make sure that the live rounds are preloaded, but you never know with that company. But
Yeah.
that's the problem. But it was a good
Well,
promo.
it also probably helps with the guy who's like your ace is the one that he went after with live rounds.
Yeah.
John's not going to be like, man, fuck this guy. I'm not going to let him talk about me like that.
Well, I forget exactly what the line was, but there was a line directed towards Chicago, if you know what I mean. Last
Phillip?
night. Our old friend Phil.
Our old
Yeah.
friend Phillip?
Philip Jack.
Good old Philip Jack.
Don't miss him one bit.
No, that company is better off without him. They really are.
Well, I'm still mad at him. I'm mad at him for because I actually took his side in that whole thing, and I can't stand the guy. So.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's a mess.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about? We touched on it a little bit. Before we went on air 3CT tonight about the Ariel Helwani Tony Khan interview. You guys heard anything about
I heard
that?
it was awkward.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because apparently he basically asked him like five questions and Tony just wouldn't answer him. Like he asked him, I guess one was about the MJF situation, one was about everything that went down with All Out, and Tony was basically just like, "Oh, I'm not going to answer that."
Was on his podcast.
I guess it was on Ariel's podcast because he had because he did that interview with Triple H. Triple H was like an open book.
Yeah.
And like AEW fans are apparently like ripping Helwani. I'm like, look, if Tony doesn't want to answer, that's not Ariel's problem.
Right.
Like and my thing is like, dude, this guy can go on a Coke blender and tweet his inner monologue at 3 a.m.
Last week's podcast, yeah.
But he can't answer 5 simple questions on a podcast. What?
Somehow they got an hour and 19 minutes of content though. Weird. Okay.
And look, even if you give a bullshit answer, okay, whatever. I mean,
better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, because when they, back when they were asking Hunter about Velveteen Dream a couple of years ago, I mean, he gave a bullshit corporate answer, but
Sure.
I mean, he answered the question.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's the difference when you have a corporate company with a corporate business structure and shareholders and all of that, and then when you have just the owner's son just rambling and cocaine.
His play toy.
Yeah, it's like that's where the big difference. You can see it in moments like that.
Yeah, Tony Yayo.
Tony Yayo.
That's true.
AOP equals scams are us. Oops.
Sorry.
Dude, to this day, man, like that little metal grate between the two rings makes me freaking nervous every time. Every time I watch
it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Because somebody lost their career.
Well, I mean, Bulldog fucking. I mean, that was the trap door thing with the Warrior.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just keep thinking about that whenever I see any sort of trick gimmick thing with any ring. I because that it ultimately kind of cost him his life.
True.
Oh yeah, because back in the old NWA ones, they just had the space in between.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right.
And because one of them, like Barry Windham, got his head stuck in between them.
Oh
yeah,
not good.
Yeah,
not good at all.
Oh.
We got Roderick Strong and Adam Cole.
Eric Young.
Young. Thank you.
I mean, I knew you weren't going to know who it was.
No, I know the name, but
man, I kind of I feel bad for the way everything went down with Young in WWE, but like I can only imagine like the reaction when like Eric Young showed up to Raw for the first time.
I mean, I know Eric Young, the former LA Dodger.
Goes miles.
Vince McMahon's like, where's the rest of them?
I know Eric Young from the former LA Dodger from like way back when, but that's about it. Show my age there again. Sorry. Although for the first time, I'm not even the oldest one on this panel today.
Oh,
that's Rob.
Yeah,
Rob got me by at least 6 years at least, right?
How old are you, Rob?
48.
Oh shit.
Well, remember, Jim, we don't age. I mean, we noticed that.
So yeah, see the difference in this War Games compared to others is both members got released.
And
Okay.
this is convoluted as hell.
What was Eric Young's character's name in WWE?
He was
Like, when he main roster, right?
he was just Eric Young.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
something
okay.
there, yeah.
Eric Young.
Okay.
Yeah. And look, the highlight of his main roster career was they did a 24/7 thing during a match, and he ran into the ring and got booted in the face by Charlotte. And that was the highlight of his main roster.
Oh shit, your girl.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob's pretty obsessed with Charlotte Flair.
that's an understatement, I believe.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, look, this is the podcast. Come on.
I rewatched Extreme Rules, and I guess they ran some sort of Charlotte promo, so I assume she's on the comeback here soon.
She's been gone since what, WrestleMania?
No, Backlash. Yeah, so that was since May.
Okay, so a month after. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm kind of glad that she wasn't there the past couple of months to be involved in that mess of a SmackDown women's division.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it'll I mean, now seems about the right time to start thinking about getting her back, be it before or at Royal Rumble.
She can go away.
Oh well, of course, I'll trade out Ronda for Charlotte any day of the week.
Although I don't think she's gonna. I think honestly, this is just gonna be I guess probably just get her back in shape for whatever's gonna come next year. Honestly.
Although again, I'll tell you, and I know we had a discussion about this on Twitter after the show. If Ronda's back to being a heel again, which obviously looks like she is, that's let's run that a little bit. I mean, it's better than her as a babyface, like I said.
Right. It's the more natural character.
Right.
Well, the thing is, all right, her natural demeanor and all of that is heelish. Like if you just leave her to her own devices, she talks heelish, she acts heelish, and all of that. But like her public image is not that though, right?
It's a hard part.
And because the general public, she goes on Jimmy Fallon, she goes on Ellen DeGeneres, and she talks about being a mom, and she's she's Ronda the cool UFC lady who dominated a man's sport and all of that stuff, right? And so in that light, she's a baby face, and people still mostly cheer when she comes out there on TV. And like the stuff that works best from them as far as like, video traffic and money and all that stuff is when she walks out there and she beats up the bad guys.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I've been doing this because I'm a numbers nerd. So
you're data guy. You and Kyle Nash.
And so look, you give me hours and hours at home because of a pandemic, and I'm still working at home now, so I'm always home all the time, and I got time, and I'm a numbers fanatic. So I've just been, looking at, traffic numbers and like for YouTube videos and stuff, and and seeing how stuff stacks up. And it's always Ronda coming out there and beating up bad guys or beating up authority figures always goes a lot further than her not doing that stuff. That's what people want to see. So even though she more naturally acts like a heel when it comes to competitive sports or whatever. So it's just it's kind of a thing they're stuck in, really. Because look, and
Jesus,
go back and when she acted like when she went heel last time, it was not very good. It was cringy as hell.
It felt poor. You talking 2018?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I guess 2018, 2019 when they turned her towards the end, and it was.
Mike, you're choppy as hell, my dude. You're like freezing up.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would be better. She would be better as a television character being a heel.
So when she got the title in 2018, she was a face, and then she turned heel.
Yeah. She didn't because so she was because she beat Alexa Bliss for the title.
Right.
And so what happens? Well, okay, so a couple things happened. All right, they had a feud with Nikki Bella. which was a
Okay.
mistake. If you want somebody to be a babyface and get babyface reactions, having them feud with Nikki Bella in 2018 was a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because people cheer for the Bellas, they're not going to boo the Bellas anymore,
Right.
and that's kind of when it started to go bad. And then right after that, they had her start interacting with Becky right when Becky was at like the height of her, rise or whatever. And so that was back to back, people you should not have somebody feuding with if you want them to get cheered. And
we never got really the payoff to the Becky thing, thanks to Nia Jax.
Yeah. So it's just to me it was yeah, I mean it was back to back things with people that you're just not going to get cheered against, and that's when it really started to go bad. And yeah, it was but then when they finally did just say screw it and you're going to be heel through WrestleMania, I mean it really wasn't very good. I mean,
because I came back in 2019, right when Ronda took a break after she lost the Mania to Charlotte, not Charlotte, to Becky.
Because like the first 2018 was until things started to go south. 2018 was actually really good and for her, but this run is not. I mean,
All right, so here on the watch along, we're getting the final members of Sanity coming in now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's this now? This guy here? Right here.
Alexander Wolf.
Yeah, Alexander Wolf, and
I know the name.
Killian Dane is the other one.
Yeah. I know Killian Dane. That's obviously Nikki ASH's husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Alexander Wolf, where is he at now?
I don't know, because he was in Imperium for a bit.
Okay.
And then they then I guess they kicked him out in kayfabe because he got released.
Rob? What do you think about the Hunter's WWE so far? 3 months in.
A lot of good, and there's some things I think you got to shore up a little bit, but I'd say mostly very good.
Okay.
And like I've been kind of, one thing for me was that for a lot of weeks they were having just some of these matches were just going too long back to back, like 15 minute, like back to back.
It's like an AEW show almost.
And so, look, I mean, I was zoning out by the time you get to the third 15-minute match in a row. I was starting to zone out on some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for the most part, very good. Now, some people now that there's been some talk on my Twitter timeline this week about how the women's divisions are being booked. Because on Raw now they're a lot of times they're down to basically Raw. They got the one storyline with Damage Control, and everyone else is just kind of like not doing nothing.
Yeah, they're working on finding their balance. I mean, it's you come at it, SummerSlam. And here's the deal. Like I don't know when the idea of succession really came into play, but you're asking a lot of a new regime, taking over, and it's they're finding balance, and so hopefully, especially now that we're we got the Saudi show in a couple weeks, then you got Survivor Series, of course, with War Games. Like I'm hoping that we'll start to see more and different groups and superstars start to take shape.
Yeah, and now all these people he's brought back. Look, I've been kind of sounding the alarm, for a few months now that something's got to give. That you just don't have time for all of these people.
Yeah, you got to be careful. There's a fine line.
Yeah, that's Tony Cocaine.
Yeah, and because I mean, I started out sounding that warning about the women's side because there are a lot of people on my Twitter timeline saying they need to call this person up, and they need to call this one up from NXT and this, and I just I just counted, and I'm like, okay, they already got like 20, 25 on the main roster now. You don't have time for all of them, and y'all want them to bring up more?
Yeah.
Like, okay. And so now we're bringing back people that had gotten released previously.
And I feel, I know there's still some rumors about a couple other people, but I feel like we've might have peaked here with Saturday night. I think we might have we reached the pinnacle of returns for the time being.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
mean, who's left out there that isn't under contract by AEW that you'd even think needs to come back?
Well, I want Mia Yim to come back personally. That's the only person out there right now.
Will,
I'm gonna say that's like -7%.
I mean, with no Vince there, maybe. Although, I mean, but Keith works in AEW, so I mean that's an easy call. I mean, if she wants to do it,
right?
But
I saw today there's reports of Chelsea Green, and I'm like, what? Why?
Really?
Why? Why? So she can get hurt again? Like,
No.
break another arm?
And I think right now the women's roster main roster, quite as kept is actually pretty solid right now. Obviously you wait for Becky to come back, and obviously
if you're gonna bring back a woman, bring back Tegan Knox. For me,
I'm game.
Bring back Tegan. You don't need Chelsea Green.
But the roster's pretty good now. Bailey's back now. You'll get Charlotte back at some point. Becky, I'm sure, will come back within the next 6 months.
Becky will get healthy.
So right now the women's roster is really solid right now.
I think the roster as a whole is in great shape.
Yeah,
it's just right now it's kind of distributed, kind of lopsided because like basically all the women who have done the big pay-per-view stuff and have had the great matches on pay-per-views and all that, they're all on Raw.
Yeah,
that's the only problem. So SmackDown is like a big collection of women who haven't been there that long, haven't
collection of people that they can feed to Ronda Rousey for the next fucking 5 months.
Do you think Ronda is sticking around for the long haul?
See, I don't. Well, because all right, when she came back, all the quote unquote reports said she was going to do Mania this year and then Mania next year, but that's never been like substantiated, right? And so we don't know how long she's going to stick around.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, people are assuming she's going to be done after this next WrestleMania, but that may not be the case.
Yeah.
Although, if she's going to stick around for the long haul, then it's time to have a conversation about how you book that division around her, because
what do you mean? They should book around her, or?
Well, I mean, you should, because she's the biggest star in the women's division, and it's not close. So you do have to revolve things around her. But
I guess the question is this: do you think did she need the title or title on the record?
The problem is, though, I mean, okay, she's the biggest star in the division. She's got, she's Brock Lesnar, right?
Correct, right. That's
I mean, you can occasionally put Brock in a
if you want her to be
match
around frequently, then she needs to have a title.
Well, because it's not realistic having her there and her not winning the title.
Yeah,
because
this is accurate. Yeah,
because I mean, theoretically, she's the best fighter. Well, she is the best fighter there, but in real life, of course. But then also, I mean, that transfers over to kayfabe also, and you don't have your best player, your best team, your best fighter, whatever, not be the champion in real life sports. So, so I mean, Golden State just doesn't say, okay, we're just going to play exhibition games this season.
Right.
Mike,
have you been to a War Games show live?
Yeah, 2019.
Oh, yeah, I think you're frozen again, Mikey.
He went in 2019 to the War Games show.
So how visually in the arena, is it difficult to see? Because I know one of our guys, Devin, was at Extreme Rules, and he said he basically couldn't see anything in the fight pit from his seat. Like he was just watching on the screen. Like is that where you were at with seeing War Games live?
Yeah, his feet is pretty bad.
Yeah, dude, he's having all sorts of problems tonight. I'm gonna text
Yeah.
him here quick.
Step his internet.
But,
Fix his internet on his end because everybody else is fine here.
but
I feel like with Ronda that the best way to use her effectively is the same way Brock is used. She should be someone that comes for a couple months, big feud, go away for a little bit, and then come back again. Because she's someone that can burn out real easy with people because of the fact that she's Ronda Rousey. She's obviously not as skilled in the ring. So you start seeing people criticizing her at some point, as you see now, for example. She goes away for a little while, wait a couple months, and then come back. Like that's the way Brock Lesnar is used now in the last couple of years is perfection. Brock, and I love Brock that way because to me, I appreciate Brock more when he's away from me for a couple months.
yeah, and then also, I mean, Brock does big fights.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And Ronda's used the same way.
So I mean, Brock fights Roman. He's about to fight Bobby Lashley.
The hard part with it though is because like there's besides the women's tag titles, there's nothing else for women in WWE to fight for. So like, because if you have Brock as champion or Roman as champion and they're kind of part-time guys, like you can get away with it because there's the U.S. title, there's the Intercontinental title, there's none of that in the women's division. So it's like if Ronda's a champion, you need her around more.
Is that something they should think about adding a secondary title like AEW? I don't think it'll hurt.
Well, they need to book the middle and lower part of the division regularly on television first.
Yeah, that would help.
Well, you got 3 hours of Raw.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, I mean, you can make the title, but then if you're not regularly putting the middle and lower part of the division on television anyway, then eventually, that champion is going to be somebody who occasionally shows up on TV, but then doesn't do anything. So first, because right now, I mean, they on both shows they book the women's championship angle, and then they do some stuff with the tag team titles, and that's still kind of off and on, but they don't have any feuds around anything else. Like there's no Seth Rollins of the women's division who's just been going around feuding with people for the last couple of years, right? There's no Kevin Owens in the women's division who, he had the title feud with Roman for a few months, but beyond that, he has feuds with other people, right? And they don't do anybody in the women's division like that. And now, of course, the problem is, I mean, when it comes to the women's division, the Twitter timeline is a war zone.
Well, yeah.
And nobody wants to see their favorite woman wrestler be the one that has to do all the non-title feuds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of the problem, as far from a fan standpoint.
Yeah. All right, Mike, I think we got you back, Mike. So my question, and hopefully we can get an answer is
I'm on my phone right now instead of my computer. So
you seem infinitely better at the moment. So watching a War Games in person, is it a challenging watch because of just the way the rings and the cages and everything's oriented? And Adam Cole's back just broke.
Oh, I know. Oh, what a bump,
man.
Watching.
Okay, so I can't grade viewing a War Games match, even though I've been to one, because myself and Joe decided to get fifth row on the floor seats along the aisle.
Ooh,
okay. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
like so when you watch, like when we go back and watch the Takeover War Games from those, basically the two cages that the wrestlers are being held in, like we had a straight shot at the one that would be on our left or the wrestlers right when they came out of the entranceway. So it was kind of hard to see, obviously, from the fifth row because Joe's 4'7".
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that much taller, but 5 rows of people, and then trying to see through chain link and all of that. It was definitely not as aesthetically pleasing.
So you were watching on the big screen, basically.
Well, the funny thing is like there were parts like. So sitting there and, turning around for when KO comes out. You know, obviously the whole Dakota Kai, Tegan Knox heel turn, you know, that stuff, you know, sitting there for all that stuff. But I tried to literally sit there and watch some of the match through the structure, just because it was one of those where if I never see another War Games match again, I just kind of want to see
the experience of it.
Yeah, so I know that there were times where I was watching it from through the cage, and it was definitely not the easiest thing in the world.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I know that Devin had some difficulty seeing the fight pit this past weekend. So I mean, it makes sense, but it's, you know, it's kind of like one of those things. Yeah, I mean, hell, depending where you sit for WrestleMania, you're there for the experience. You're not there to see the action in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our mine and Joe's first New York, we were in like the 400 level. So trust me, it was literally like, oh look, here comes Ryback, the ant.
Yeah, I can tell you this right now for Philly, we're gonna I'm hoping to plan to get like lower bowl because I want to be in
that's
a
where
more
that's
proper...
where me and Joe are for LA.
WrestleMania. Yeah.
Because yeah, I'm making a trip to Philly because
we're going to. We're planning on that.
Yeah,
it's close enough.
There's a chance that it's probably going to be my only one. So I'm like literally the day that they announced it, I took a screenshot and I sent it to my wife, and she literally goes, "You're going. You don't have a choice."
Oh, nice.
And I went, "Okay."
Yeah, because
I am not going to argue with this woman.
Because I mean, worst comes to worst. I mean, I can take a train up there and back. I mean,
you're in Maryland, right?
Yeah, I'm about 15 minutes outside of Baltimore.
Okay.
So I can look. If it's actually if it's a real pinch, I could take the train up there and
we're all considering we're all going. That's the plan. Might do a big show there probably if we could make it work. Hopefully,
figure something out. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
We gotta find a bar that'll let's do a live stream so we get drunk before it.
We'll have like the 3CT take 3CT mindless fucking
oh hell yeah
podcast
super show extravaganza or something.
Yeah. So I'm sure Jason probably want to go too. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy,
because he's in Boston. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Alexander Wood.
Oh, that's insane, man.
Oh boy.
That table spot's sick.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
I still think the best spot I've seen in War Games is that fucking spot with Ciampa and Cole from the top rope.
Oh yeah. The one where Sid almost destroys fucking Brian Pillman like life.
Oh yeah, because he banged his head on the roof of the cage, and
then just drops him and then picks him up again.
Yeah, he.
I know. Well, I know what EO had a big spot in the last one. McAfee had a big spot in the one.
Mm-hmm. Especially with Ciampa, that's the first match back from his surgery.
Yeah, I was scared to death when he did that thing.
Yes, I'm saying. I mean, it's
insane.
So sick.
I love Adam.
Oh,
I love watching Cole just like squirm like a worm across the top of the fucking cage. Like, don't mind me. I'm just dry humping the cage.
Alexander Wolf's.
You caught that too, didn't you, Jim?
What's that?
You caught that too? Dry humping.
Yeah, just dry humping the cage, man. You know.
Alexander Wolf's head is split wide open.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah. They showed
the
great
match.
This is better than I remember it being.
Yeah, this is a great match.
It's real good.
Oh look, it's Mr. Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
The positive and negative to what's his face Wolf's head being busted open with the black mat, you could never really tell how much blood there was.
Oh yeah, because man, those old school NWA rings, they look nasty.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Oh
yeah. Just blood splatter all over the damn thing, and it's
they had the blue, I think, right? The blue mat.
Or it was either like white or light blue.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe WCW was blue, I think. But
Yeah.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Jeez.
CTE.
Oh, yeah.
Overselling or something more there, you think, on that spot? Overselling or something more? Jesus.
It's a classic Dolph Ziggler oversell.
Yeah.
Shit, Hogan did that shit too back in as well. Like,
We'll grade that oversell 4 Dolph Zigglers.
Dude, I hate Hulk Hogan's overselling though.
Oh, it's insane.
He's like having a seizure or something. Like, fuck, dude.
But the Hogan oversell gave us Shawn Michaels overselling at the SummerSlam.
yeah.
SummerSlam 05. But at least that was funny though.
Still one of the funniest damn things I've ever seen.
I was listening to Bischoff's podcast the other day because his topic this week was his 2005 in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about that match a little bit where he was just like, I kind of lost some respect for Shawn that night. He's like, there's ways to go about things. And I'm like, you're talking about a guy who had one of his best friends let him poke him in the chest so they could win the world title back because of creative control. Buddy, I think we've lost the fucking respect card a long time ago.
Yeah.
But that was like redeemed Shawn, though. That's the shocking part. That was Shawn, born again Christian, redeemed, the whole nine, just.
Buddy, just because you're born again doesn't mean that you
I totally agree with you.
people out on their bullshit.
No, I totally agree with you, but that's what makes it shocking. Like he's still averted to doing that shit.
No, I think people truly believe that Shawn to anybody else that would have, let him get a win back to make things.
Oh my god,
fair,
Bro.
Wow.
That was
you got AOP's big bodies to absorb that.
There's a lot of trust. There's a lot of trust in those spots.
Yeah.
The problem is it looked like Adam Cole went right to the fucking
Yeah, all the bodies powdered out and Cole just like, fuck you guys.
I can't feel my spine, baby.
Hey assholes, you didn't need to kill me.
It's a great match.
Yeah, it's good. It's
it got very once all 9 men got in the ring, it got really chaotic.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it is the if you look at the match like a wrestling card, the undercard is there's strategy, there's teaming up, things like that. And then once everybody's in, it's just pure chaos. It's a car crash. It's a glorious car crash.
Yeah.
Anarchy.
Yeah.
Punch him in the spleen. You don't need that.
Is that blood on the table?
Yes, that's Alexander Wolf. Look at the back of his head.
Holy shit! Look at that table though. Holy crap! Like fucking
that's a lot of
puddle around.
A lot of blood.
His whole hand is covered in red. You can see it right there.
Wow.
That's
blood.
When he hit the backdrop, he went right through and he caught a piece of the table and split himself wide open.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, look, it's oh, got him.
Oh, right down on the grate.
Yeah.
Certified asshole himself, Drake Wirtz.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hold on, once the board reloads, I got one for him. Here we go.
Actually, Drake was on Duke's podcast last year.
Horrible human being.
Discussing the whole thing.
What's there to
What about him being a scumbag?
He's a
yeah. Well, no one likes him, but he wanted him to explain what the whole thing happened when he did what he did and all that.
This is human garbage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
MAGA.
Yeah, it ultra fucking not even that, man. It's like tinfoil hat bullshit with that guy. It's hidden message bullshit. Fucking that goes even beyond just being a fan of the former president. It just goes far beyond that with people like him.
And then then he brought it to work and was like shoving it in people's face and
that part.
And because and I mean because I'm sure we all got some MAGA co-workers, I'm sure, but
Oh
I mean,
yeah.
but I
Shit,
mean,
I got MAGA friends.
and,
They're real.
but I mean, my thing is, if we're at work, man, keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah, we don't let that get in the way, like friendships, but
Oh,
You can't. There's no way to feel good after this. Like how many days after are you feeling these matches?
Well,
yeah.
30
well, look at it this way. I know in 2019, Adam Cole did the same exact match. The very next night, defended his NXT titles on the Survivor
Yeah,
Series.
that was insane.
He was wrapped up in like a bandage too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mike. You watched your both shows, Mike, right?
What?
So your both shows when Adam Cole was wrapped up in bandages after the War Games, right? Right. So, and he took a big ass bump.
Yeah.
It's Adam Cole's blue eyes that do it for me.
Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era. I've never witnessed anything like we have just seen here tonight.
Yeah, that was a great match.
I'm really glad we weren't watching it with the audio because Mauro Noah probably killed that fucking match.
Oh, well, God, yeah.
He was okay here. Like, he hadn't gone off the rails yet.
Mamma mia!
I mean, because it's funny, like when he comes up in conversation now, there are people who want him back. And
Mauro's someone I can stomach Mauro at NXT. I can stomach Mauro in the Indies. He's not a main roster guy.
I can't even stomach it. My problem with him is love his story. Anybody that has open mental health stuff, ton of respect. But my problem has always been is for people that are used to commentating on fight like UFC or boxing and stuff like that. Every moment in a boxing match or a UFC fight could be the end.
Yeah.
So you're programmed to call it that way.
God, look at his arm.
It's gross.
Yeah. Put his head open.
But with wrestling, I understand that kayfabe, brother.
It's fake. It's fake, buddy. It's
right,
fake.
kayfabe, brother. But like, so theoretically speaking, every suplex, every cover could be the end. But like, if you've been watching it for more than 15 seconds, you know that it's not. So calling every cover at 10 seconds into the match like it's gonna end that's my issue with Mauro. Like it's way too intense because like I mean for me like I look at it differently too because I've done commentary. I do commentary. I'm doing commentary for an indie show this weekend. Like your first match should not have the same intensity from commentary that your last match does, and you have to build. Yes. And even within the match itself, there's ebbs and flows. I feel like you don't get it that much with.
Why aren't you plugging like where you're commentating?
Yeah, I should. I totally forgot to do that.
It's next month, right?
Called a show.
No,
I haven't called a show since before the pandemic. So it's been like 3 years. So this Saturday, let me pull up the information because hell, we may have listeners in Pennsylvania, but the show for this weekend. It's basically like a celebration of wrestling and independent wrestling in Central PA. It's called A Night to Remember. This is the second one. It is at the Zembo Shrine in Harrisburg. This is actually a venue that the WWF ran back in like the 70s.
Go Senators.
Yeah, go Senators, man. Yeah, Zembo Shrine. Bell time is at 6. Doors open at 5. I know there are still general admission tickets available. It's a badass old building, man. It really, really is. 3rd Street in Harrisburg. So yeah, come check it out. If not, once there's clips up online, we will be tweeting them out and things as well. But yeah, calling my first show in over 3 years, or almost 3 years, probably.
Scale 1 to 10, how excited are you?
Excited 10, anxious 20.
Nervous?
Just because I've been out of the game for a while. I hope my voice is ready because it's going to be a long one for sure. Yeah, definitely excited.
Is the proletariat Boar of Moldova wrestling on this show?
He's not. He's actually on a different show in PA this Saturday. I've never had the honor of calling a boar match yet, but I'm hoping.
Boar is war.
He's the man. The Boar is a good dude. I know him well.
All right, my topic now. We'll do another game of heel versus face. I have 5 wrestlers.
Don't worry, you'll find a way to fuck this one up too.
Oh, I already did. 5 wrestlers here of any era. We'll obviously, Rob, for you, this would be, of course, do you prefer them as a heel or a face? These wrestlers out here obviously have been both in as a portion of their career, and you just tell us what you prefer, heel or face.
John Laurinaitis.
Indifferent. No. All right, first one here. I'll mix up here a little bit with the genders here. So let's go first.
Johnny Ace is a piece of shit.
Becky Lynch, heel or face?
Oh, dang.
Producer Jim.
Fuck.
Wow.
No, I'm gonna go heel. I'm gonna go heel. I'm gonna give it a slight edge because, like, I feel like there's times where she kind of blurs the lines, but I think when she's at her best, it is as a heel.
All right, Rob.
I'd say for me, I think babyface because she does act heelish in a lot of ways, but when they turned her heel last year, I felt it felt kind of just forced and contrived to me. And also, they didn't fully commit. Like, you got to drop the sing-along music, which is, I know Seth has sing-along. Seth has sing-along music also, and to me, that kind of it kind of messes things up a bit for him too. But because Roman dropped, he changed the music. He got some sinister sounding music. Even though people still cheer Roman, but he fully committed all the way, and it felt kind of forced and contrived to me when they did that last year with her. And I mean, it worked because she's really good at it, and it worked because she was in there with Bianca. But I think they switched her back right when they should have, because I just think she works better as a babyface. Even though, again, she has heelish tendencies, yes, but I think she works better as a babyface.
Michael?
Both? Question mark? So when she was down in NXT, she was primarily a face most of the time. So that first initial heel run, leading into her becoming Becky Two Belts, that was very well done. Was not a fan of Big Time Bex. Wasn't my favorite character that she's portrayed. But sometimes as a face, some of her stuff was more like a go out there and talk with your accent so that we can, make a Lucky Charms joke later, back at the hotel, which was kind of stupid, Vince, just so you know. That being said, I don't think I think she's one of those people, and even to an extent, her husband or fiance, or I don't know if they're married yet or not. I don't pay attention to social media. Seth is that guy that he'll play a heel on television, but no matter what he does, he'll get cheered. I don't think it matters what character Becky plays. Fans are going to love her no matter what. Mm-hmm. That being said, I guess just face, but I would prefer more like Becky Two Belts face than I would like, oh yeah, look at me, Lucky Charms.
By the way, they are married, Michael, for the record.
Yeah, whatever.
But I think
go ahead.
when you have somebody, it's so hard to get people cheered now that I think when it happens, you need to just go ahead and keep them as a baby face because it makes things harder for the to get other people over if you got them working heel and they're still getting cheered because then the other person isn't gonna their reactions are gonna be all jacked up.
Right. Well, obviously for business, there's no doubt as a babyface, she was arguably the biggest star in the company for at least a year in 2019/2020. Me personally, I like her as a heel. I thought that heel run she started last year at the SummerSlam was fucking awesome. I know I would say what Rob said about the music. We probably should have changed it up a little bit. I agree with you on that. But in terms of the character and what they were doing with her and the things they're trying, and her being a little bit of a bitch and whatnot, and a little bit of diva, I liked how they leaned into it. So that's pretty cool. So I prefer heel. Better for business, probably his face, as you said. People love her no matter what, but I prefer as a heel. All right, next one here. This is gonna be an interesting one. Lex Luger. Michael.
To be fair, I don't really remember much of Luger's heel runs. I know he had a couple back in NWA, probably before I was born. Wasn't he like an honorary member of the Horsemen for like a cup of coffee or something?
I mean, we could technically use the narcissist also as the heel too.
Yeah, that was
Really
more
run?
Bobby Heenan talking about how jacked Lex Luger was.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for myself, though, every time I think about Lex Luger, all I think about is tell me a lie. For some reason, that really bad fucking like bullshit song that they gave Shawn Michaels after the Lex Express died. So like I can't take Lex Luger serious, so I really don't give a fuck. USS Intrepid. That's what I take. I take the USS Intrepid.
Face. So face. Lean into the face, of course.
Honestly, though, as a guy who watched a lot of WCW because I grew up in Virginia, he wasn't even like a top 5 face there. I mean, he was just kind of there. I mean, he was the Savio Vega of WCW. He was there.
Whoa.
Oh, Rob, go ahead. Okay, Rob, what do you think on this one? Lex Luger, heel or face?
Well, he's another one. Like, okay, he has like natural heelish tendencies.
Yeah.
I saw his whole career basically from when he started all the way up to the end of WCW. So yeah, I mean he has natural heelish tendencies, but people cheered the guy because I mean he was the big jack dude and he had a lot of energy and he did power moves and all that stuff, and so people naturally especially when he was hot, people naturally gravitated towards cheering for him. And when he was having all those matches with Ric Flair back in the 80s, I mean, it was, that stuff was almost perfect, and he's another one of those people, again, he naturally acts like a heel, but eventually at least in the NWA times, people gravitated towards cheering for him.
Right.
So again, for business purposes, you're better off having him be a baby face and have him challenge Ric Flair and and that type of thing, because when they had him go heel, he was wrestling Ricky Steamboat and people were cheering for him and they were booing Ricky Steamboat, which
right.
You can't have.
Who does that? Who boos
right?
Steamboat?
You can't have that happen.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I also blame Lex Luger for allowing Sting to go full heel, because how could you not trust your best friend, Lex? You egotistical, pompous jackass.
But so yeah, I think it's another one where you got to split the difference, basically. I mean, because I mean, for business purposes, because look, people, you can't have like the big jack dude who's full of energy and does all that stuff. You can't keep them heel forever because people love that shit. And whether it's Brock or Bobby or Goldberg or the Road Warriors, people love that shit and they're going to cheer for it eventually, no matter what you have them do. So ultimately, you got to make them a baby face eventually.
Right. Okay. Jim?
Give me that Summer Alex, man.
What does it take to be a hero?
Right, come on, give me Summer Alex. Like, guys, I don't have the frame of reference to the NWA stuff, the WCW stuff. Like, I didn't get into WCW until the Monday Night Wars. And then I feel like Lex was very different. If you watch the A&E doc they did on him this year, man, like that whole thing took you on a freaking journey.
Oh yeah.
But so I feel like really the only small sample size I have is the brief time as the narcissist, and then Summer Lex, slamming Yoko on the USS Intrepid. You had the Lex Express and all that. Like, yeah, give me that. Give me Lex as a face.
Yeah, the only heel runs I remember him really was obviously as a narcissist in 1992/1993, which was short lived. To me, he was obviously the Lex Express stuff was cool, and then obviously him and Sting being best friends was obviously you could not cheer for Lex Luger.
I love how
him with
Vince
Sting.
decided to not put the title on him because the crowd went mild.
Yeah. So ultimately, give me the face, Lex Luger. Ultimately,
Mid Luger.
All right, next one here we have Kevin Nash / Diesel. We'll use both. So, Jim.
I like that. This is the fourth time we've done one of these.
Third, fourth time, yeah.
And we're finally getting to some really good ones.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
I appreciate that.
Thanks, buddy.
I appreciate the arc you're taking us on.
Next week it'll be like Savio Vega, Bang.
Write it down, Mang, Haku / Haku, Barbarian,
Warlord.
Don't fuck with the Warlord. That's my boy.
Man, give me. Even though now I got to separate the man from the character, because Kevin Nash is that motherfucker.
Hell yeah,
he's that fucking dude, man. But as a wrestler, give me heel Kevin Nash, give me heel Diesel over face.
Rob.
Babyface, because another one. The NWO was too cool, man, and I mean they started out as they were supposed to be the bad guys, but they were getting cheered, and and I mean a few people got over working against them, like DDP and Sting, right? But if you weren't like that, then they were so cool that the audience would cheer them against you. So I'd say babyface. But he's basically Kevin Nash. He does what the fuck he wants, right? I just happen to be a big ass kicking babyface,
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna go heel. I think I was at the U.S. Airway Arena in D.C. whenever he turned on Brett at Survivor Series after he lost the title. Or after he retained the title, or once Brett retained the title. I don't remember who
95. I was 95.
Yeah, I was at that show. I just remember being like, holy shit, dude. That guy's an ass-kicking machine. I don't want to fuck with that guy. Mind you, I was still like 7. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to fuck with him. But then he goes to WCW, jackknifes Eric Bischoff through the stage. He got over quicker as a heel going into WCW than he did probably ever in WWE. So I just, the character, like, he was able to be cool as the other side of the pillow because, like, it was so easy for him to naturally just do himself. And that's what he was doing. He was being Kevin Nash. He was being laid back, kick someone's ass if he needed to, just kind of wanted to work and then go get a drink.
Yeah. It's easy for me. heel definitely. I NW Wolfpack was a face faction when they split it up. I
So,
hated the Wolfpack.
back
You guys,
on Wolfpack.
you guys all know
Right,
I
his body
hated the
bag.
Wolfpack. To me, that was the downhill for me for WCW.
No, the
was-
downhill fucking spiral for WCW was fucking adding every other person.
Well, yeah. I'm saying for me,
We really needed fucking Virgil.
I started
You ain't lying.
to away from the WCW around that time. I hated the split. Plus, that's Team Hogan, so whatever. But
yeah, all right, buddy. We know it's because you're Team Hogan, not you.
I-
So were upset.
Anyway,
They started
I
Wolfpack to take away
I
Sauce
can't
and
stand the
Scott.
Wolfpack. I couldn't stand the Wolfpack. Nash is cool as a heel, asshole. 96 NWO, the whole
All right,
lead up
Sauce, whatever you said.
through the fucking tables, the whole as you said. Even Diesel, like with Diesel character, I'll split it because I didn't mind either heel or face Diesel. But to me, the carryover to me was Kevin Nash as a heel in WCW, so I could be heel Nash all day. All right, next one here. This one should be pretty interesting.
Scott Norton.
Damn, how'd you know? No, I'm joking. Jake Roberts.
Train.
Jake Snake Roberts. Heel or face, Michael?
What?
I mean, what?
Jake's most memorable moments were when he was a heel. Coal Miner's glove match against Sting, snake bite against Savage after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Him tricking the Ultimate Warrior into letting the snake bite him in the videos. No, fuck. It's always heel Jake. Jake is one of the best heels ever. Like, I get face runs are cool and they're a change of course and all that, but it's like the most memorable face run for me for Jake Roberts was whenever Stone Cold decided to fucking win the King of the Ring because of him. Like, no, I'm good. Muck. Give me heel Jake every day of the week.
By the way, I'm watching Holly Havoc 1989. Rob, you got
okay.
Number
So
but-
I saw the entire Jake Roberts run, and he did both very well. Because when he was feuding with Rick Rude, that was outstanding.
Love that feud.
Yeah, and look, Rick Rude
should went longer for the record because they went from him to Andre like that.
Yeah,
should went longer
because now Rick Rude had my dad like shoot angry over when he was wearing the tights with Cheryl Roberts' face on it. Oh man, look, my dad was like this is fake because if it was real, Jake would have shot him. Okay,
yeah.
Get over that.
That was low key the best feud of 1988, in my opinion, in that company. Like, obviously, that was the year Savage won the title, but to me, outside of anything Hogan and Savage were doing, that was the best feud that year, in my opinion, in '88. Was Rude and us, Roberts.
But man, all right, he played both very excellent. Now, so for me, I guess, well, I was a kid when he was a babyface and feuding with Rick Rude, and that's how most favorably I remember him. And then with Andre, and then he feuded with Ted DiBiase. But he was another one, and again, this is a recurring theme tonight. These people who were so cool that the audience is going to cheer for them because he came in as a heel. He feuded with Ricky Steamboat.
Yep,
but then the DDT was such a cool move in 1986 that people hadn't seen that much of. So people love the DDT, and they love Damien, and he started getting cheered, and he told the story. They actually shot an angle with him and Hogan, and like
he got more cheers than Hogan did. Remember that?
So they just killed it. They never aired it. Yeah. Because
86, 87. Yep.
Yeah, you couldn't mess with the money machine, right? I mean, and nowadays they would have ran the angle, and then and then it would have been everything been all screwed up because the crowd would have went into business for themselves.
In the same way Savage organically turned to a face in '87 after WrestleMania 3, that that summer into the feud with Honky. The same way that same year, Roberts naturally turned into a face from a heel in early '87. It was natural. It was organic. It wasn't like they forced it. It just kind of happened that way. Same with Savage, the other way around too.
Because ultimately, it's hard to stay a heel if you do really cool stuff.
Yeah,
it's hard to stay a heel. I mean, you have to be. I mean, you have to be just You have to be like Corbin now if you want to stay a heel. Just be totally unlikable in every way imaginable.
He's a great heel, though. He's a fantastic heel.
Oh, he is, and he's one of the few people that fully commits and does not try to be cool and does not try to get himself over, and all of that. He's one of the few people who's willing to stick with being unlikable all the time.
Yeah.
And most people now don't want to commit to it.
All right, Jim, Jake Snake Roberts.
The most powerful memory I have of Jake Roberts is putting the Cobra onto Macho Man Savage's arm when he's tied up in the ropes. As good as Jake is, no matter what he's doing, to me it'll always be heel.
It's funny because, like, as a character, the moments, the creativity, obviously heals Roberts' fucking money. Me personally, I always enjoyed his face run more. Like, as I said, Roberts touched on that, for example. That feud with Rick Rude, for example, in '88 was fantastic. His feud with Andre, go to Mania 5, great. Feud with DiBiase and whatnot. Even his feud with Martel in '91.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so, like, I definitely will say, like, as a character, the heel thing was better because, again, more moments, the Savage stuff, and Steamboat '86 and DDT on the floor. But to me personally, I always enjoyed Jake as a babyface because he still had a little bit of an asshole in him to him anyway, even as a babyface. But it was cool. Kind of remind me of like early Stone Cold Steve Austin, kind of in a way, but not as like minus the beer drink and all that shit. So me personally, I prefer babyface Jake Roberts. This is me. And finally, and this is for you, Rob, the Queen, Charlotte Flair. But let me go to Jim first here on Charlotte Flair. Heel or face?
Heel, easy. She's easy. She's the best women's wrestler the WWE has ever had, but she is so much easier to hate than she is to love because she's so good at. I mean, she's the daughter of the dirtiest player in the game. She's a Flair. Flairs are better heels. It's genetic. Without question. Heel.
All right, Rob.
Oh, heel, 100%. Because look, she says herself that she's always wanted to be a heel, and Vince has tried several times to do a babyface turn with her.
It doesn't work.
Because I think he thought that because people love Rick so much that they would just love her, but she's even said herself that look, I'm not relatable to anybody because of who my dad is and all this other stuff, and people aren't going to relate to me, so why should we try?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's 100%. I mean, because and I agree with her. There's nothing to relate to there. I mean, and she doesn't have a sympathetic career story like a lot of wrestlers have now. She wasn't out there. That's what I mean. She's a better heel basically because of real life stuff. Because again, she didn't have a sympathetic story. She wasn't working the indies for 10 years and all of that. She wasn't living out of her car at any point, or anything like that a lot of people use now to kind of connect with the audience. So there's really just nothing there to do that with her. And also, I mean, she towers over all her opponents. She's like half a foot taller than the other girls for the most part. And I mean, she's better off being a bully and pushing people around and getting rough with people and all that kind of stuff. It's just much better that way, and it works much better that way. Because there just isn't anything really to attach, to be noble or whatever, to try to connect to the audience that way for her. And then ultimately, she's another one of those people, though. She does some cool stuff in the ring, and a lot of times, at least during the matches, people end up cheering for her anyway. During some matches, depending on who the opponent is, right? I mean, and so, but yeah, she's better heel, definitely.
Mike?
Who would have picked face?
Vince.
No,
old man.
no, because even he knew that he couldn't turn her face.
He tried like 3 times though.
He wanted it.
He did try in
wanted it.
2019. I know that for a fact.
I mean, he tried 3 times with everybody on the roster, though. I mean, the only person he never fully fucking turned was Hogan and Cena. I mean, he even tried to turn Austin. I mean,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's Charlotte is a heel. She'll always be a heel. She's a heel no matter what because she's the daughter of the dirtiest player of the game. But she's taken that ability as his daughter and taken it to a whole nother level. And she gets booed every time she talks. She gets booed every time she walks to the ring. I think you're missing the boat if you try to keep turning her into a face because eventually fans are going to stop giving a fuck. So just let her do her and let the rest of it lay where it does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who would have picked face? Me. No, I'm just joking. No, it's definitely heel. It's definitely fucking heel.
Honestly,
I don't see the opportunity. I am the opportunity. Come on.
If you would have picked face, I would have hit leave and then not came back.
I mean, seriously. I mean, she's one of the best heels. Not only is she a great heel, she's arguably one of the best heels in the company. I'll go that far.
And I mean, I'm looking forward to how this goes without Vince around because, me and a lot of other people who are big fans of hers, we often feel like Vince often just undercut her a lot of times. It's like, okay, yeah, she won all of those championships, but there were just things creatively that a lot of times Vince did to just undercut everything before she could really get going good, as character wise.
That's why I'm really hoping this. I'm curious with how she'll get booked under Hunter. That's what I'm really curious about. Seriously. I'm back though. Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm hoping no more forced face turns. I'm hoping.
Thank God. Hopefully.
And that's the biggest thing I'm hoping. Just no more of that because it just no. So I'm looking forward to what comes now because I think she'll be allowed to do more things the way she thinks she should do them.
Right. Totally agree.
And like I said, you're not going to have Vince there trying to turn her baby face for the millionth time because he just knows this time it'll work.
Exactly. All right, Jim.
Wings.
I haven't heard that in a long time. I missed that one.
All right. We obviously 5-6 days removed from Extreme Rules, 5-6 days removed from the return of Bray Wyatt. We on 3CT discussed this in long form, both the execution of the return itself, but more this angle of it, because when you look at the history of Bray Wyatt in this company, there's been good moments and then there's been a lot of missteps. And it has caused character changes. It, at least I think, partially probably led to him not being in the company for the last ever how many months. Now he's back. Looks to be kind of reinvented as we're recording this late Thursday night, early Friday morning. We're 18 hours away from seeing him return to SmackDown and kind of maybe seeing a direction of how this is going to head. But sitting here now, the question is, and Rob, I'll lead to you first on this one as the guest. How can WWE make this incarnation of Bray Wyatt a success?
Okay, because for me, I love the skits, I love the vignettes, I love the entrances, I love the promos. I don't hate the matches the way a lot of people on our Twitter timelines do. I mean, they talk about him like he's the worst wrestler ever, and he's not the worst wrestler ever.
Not close to that.
It's just, to me, there are certain situations you got to keep him out of. Like, don't do any title stuff with him because
doesn't need it.
Well, it's also because it never satisfies anybody, because if you put him in a title match with Roman Reigns, he's not winning, and people are going to be mad that he didn't win. And then if he does win the title, then when he loses it, people are going to be upset because and it's always a disaster when he is in a title match situation, because it never works out. There's never a satisfying ending to when he has a title, and I don't, like I said, he doesn't need one. He can occupy his own corner of the street. And basically, I mean, I think he should be somebody that basically, if somebody's going to undergo a character change, have them do something with him, and he warps people's minds and all of that shit, and you come out different, right? To me, that's the best way. That's the way to use him, and keep him away from the title stuff. And I think you'll be fine. And also, get him some. He needs some. Basically, he needs some people to go follow him. Also, give him some followers.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of talk of the Wyatt Six or whatever. We'll hopefully see some of that start to take shape here.
Yeah.
Starting tonight.
Yeah, because that was another drawback with the Fiend, I think, also, because him just being by himself, it's not the same. When he has followers, it adds something to the whole act. So keep him away from title stuff, get him some followers, use him to change other people's character through storyline. I think if you do that, and then just let him do his promos and his vignettes and all that stuff, and I think you got gold there.
Sure. Michael.
Well, I mean, I think the first thing that I would do is pick whom he's going to start a long-term feud with, and start that on Friday night. Let the followers come over time. Don't rush that just to have it. Maybe have one or two, right away, kind of thing. But the new ones, or the ones that he's going to have to like persuade into joining his family or whatever he decides to call him at this point. I mean, unless you're going to just give him the 6 off rip and then go from there, which if that's the case, that's fine. But I'm not necessarily as panic button on keeping him out of the title picture. Obviously, I mean, keep him out of it till after WrestleMania, because I do believe that's whenever we see a title change. But him versus Cody for a world title is something that I'm increasingly interested in by the minute. I think it's something that could be good for both of them. And I think not to be that guy, but I think Bray would want that match because of his friend, as a tribute to Brody and all that stuff. Because Brody's last match was with Cody, and I think Bray would love the opportunity to share the ring with someone who got to share the ring with John in his last match before his untimely passing. The best thing that they can do, though, for the foreseeable future is don't force it. Don't force him into wrestling. Don't force him into doing things. We knew it was going to be him for the last however many weeks with the QR codes and all that other stuff, and still had us eating out of the palm of his hands. Show up on Friday night, hit him with the "we're here," pull out the lantern, and then he's gone. Keep people coming back for more. The problem was, and especially with the Fiend, and the Fiend, I'm going to give him a pass on because it was the fucking pandemic. It literally was like, hey, we're trying shit with characters, throwing shit at the wall, see if it sticks. Hell, the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena was awesome. Then they got themselves into a point where they're like, well, what the fuck do we do with him now? Then you made him almost unfucking destructible. That was the problem. Is that the Fiend and Bray Wyatt should have been hand in hand. It's almost like the Demon with Finn Balor. It's Bray Wyatt's going to wrestle John Cena tonight. Oh, Bray Wyatt lost to John Cena. Bray Wyatt's on a losing streak. Well, John Cena just challenged him to a match with like a certain stipulation. The Fiend comes out. The Fiend beats John Cena. Bray Wyatt doesn't beat John Cena. And that's something that I feel like they missed on. But I think they missed on it because, again, I think that there was... They tried so hard to do certain things, and I feel like they limited themselves on some because they were using this opportunity to get other people over. And I'm not going to say that I was upset with that decision because we got the Hurt Locker out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they took a lot more chances in the pandemic, and the safest thing that they could have, knowing that Roman wasn't going to be there for the foreseeable future because of, COVID and his deteriorating health system and defense system. And that's why I think Bray made sense. I mean, I'll never forgive them for having a no contest in the middle of a fucking Hell in the Cell match. But
yeah.
I digress on that. So,
Boy.
That was a Seth match, right? It's Seth.
Yeah. One of the worst
that
finishes ever.
That was the drizzling shits, man.
I mean, it's one of those where if they decide to just slow and steady this thing, and he doesn't do much until after Survivor Series, I'm not going to be upset. I already see people talking about, Wyatt 6 versus the Bloodline in War Games. No, let's keep him away from Roman in the Bloodline for as long as possible. Like, I don't need to see.
No, hell no.
Exactly. I don't need to see that. I'm more than content with a Bloodline versus Kevin Owens led team in War Games match. I am more than content with that situation. I don't need Bray Wyatt to be involved with Roman Reigns right now because he could go through the other 4 members of the Bloodline real quick, no problem, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But are we sure that he would ever take the title off of Roman? I mean, it's 50-50, I think. I think with the exception of Cody Rhodes, he's the closest that you get to actually getting somebody to defeat Roman Reigns and to not be the drizzling shits.
It could be done properly, and there's a long told story between those two.
Correct. And there's a time and place to do it. And it's not next month at Survivor Series or day one.
No, certainly not.
No. That's what I'm getting at. We had this conversation, and Joe made the comment last week that there's like 10 guys that could win the men's Royal Rumble this year. There's 2. Cody Rhodes, Bray Wyatt. There's only 2 that I think make any fucking sense now.
I mean, here's the deal. If Cody Rhodes is healthy, there's 1.
Yeah, I agreed with you.
I don't foresee any reason why Cody shouldn't be healthy by that point.
Adrenaline in my soul.
Something Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
No, it's as easy to me. Just he takes up so much oxygen in a good way, of course, that you don't need him to be in the top picture. He doesn't need a title, first off. Let's start there. Okay. Not saying I don't want him to win a title one day again, but he doesn't need it. You know what I mean? So doesn't need a title. Let the creativity flow. Just let him have his space. He doesn't need to be on Raw wrestling every week. He could be a guy that you can see once a month.
Wrestling every week.
Huh?
He won't. He'll be another member of the SmackDown roster because Fox wanted him.
Right. He'll be. If I see him once every 2 months, like the way they use MJF, for example, like he hardly wrestles. Same thing, because I think the stuff he does outside of.
I think you're getting, when it comes to that, I think there's 2. I think your guy that's MJF is Roman Reigns.
Probably.
So I think having 2 guys do the same thing on the same show is a little mental to that show.
But EJ, you're saying you don't. When you say you don't want to see him once every 2 months
in the ring, wrestle.
You want to see him on TV frequently,
vignettes,
and not wrestle all the time,
right?
Like MJF does,
right? Exactly.
Give me that on Raw, and I'm okay with it.
His match,
2 guys doing it on SmackDown,
right?
But SmackDown's a 2-hour show. Like, you're okay doing that on SmackDown.
But have we not been discussing about the fact that outside of the title feud on SmackDown, there's nothing going on with the women's division? Have we not talked about how the tag team division has been non-existent? So you're cutting that show even more, is what I'm saying. You have a 3-hour show 2 nights later that you could give Bray Wyatt an hour of it, and it would be must-see television for that 1 hour that he's on TV. And I think he gets the job done just as well, if not better. All I'm saying is don't chop the legs out of SmackDown by having two guys doing the same thing differently.
And that's actually a good point because
I love Bray, I love Roman. I'm not going to say that I don't, but I just don't chop the legs out of the show.
Because at one point, like with SmackDown, like you had the Bloodline stuff going, and then you had Seth Rollins and Edge feuding, and we know that those guys are monologuers, right? And it ate up most of the show between the three of them.
My large point is make him an event. He's that great. He's that creative that he's worthy of being an event in itself. So to me, just don't burn him out. But obviously make it work. Let the creativity flow. Because like I said, his vignettes to me sometimes are more important, like or most watched thing or the most like anticipated thing on a Raw SmackDown than say any match you'll see. Because he's that creative and what he does. Like the shit with the Firefly Funhouse was fantastic. Looking forward to it every week. Look forward to it. And I don't know if
I guess my question here is, who gets paired with him?
Out the gate?
Does anyone go out?
Wait. We mean join him or put him against to
Well,
put
I mean,
over?
no, I'm saying, is the Wyatt Six a real thing? If it is, who are they? If it's not, who's his followers?
Liv Morgan's one.
See, the beauty is I haven't even thought about any of that.
And it's so much room for that. It's a space
because to me, like I just want to see what him being on SmackDown tonight is. Like I'm not like I haven't even begun to if we're being 100%, I can't even like have begun fully processing the fact that he's even back.
Yeah.
Like it was the thing I've wanted since he was released. But like there was a big part of me that was like, I think I kind of reserved myself to like, I think this guy's just done wrestling, which would have sucked.
Well, we thought he was mentally checked out in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, not just Brody, but he's had, if you follow him on Instagram, like he's had numerous people in his life that have passed away over recent years. That's a heavy burden to carry. He has young kids, like maybe there was part of me, it's like, dude, maybe this guy just wants a simpler life and an easier life. And I can't blame him if he did.
Right.
And I never really thought he was going to end up anywhere else.
No, because they couldn't afford him, basically.
Yeah. Well, the only place that could I think he knew deep down weren't going to utilize it properly. So like
he also knew that if he went over there with fucking Tony Yayo, that he would just be thrown into the Dark Order.
Tony
Yayo. Right.
Right, Mike.
So yeah, like I haven't even begun to process that in terms of who or what or how or when or why. And I think that's the beauty. Like I don't get to watch SmackDown every week. I don't watch SmackDown every week. I can guarantee you I'm watching SmackDown tonight. Because I want to see what this is and what this means and what he has to say, or if he's gonna get to say anything, whatever they're gonna like, whatever it is, man, whatever it is. But in terms of this, the thing that I said, and I am looking at from this standpoint with Bray Wyatt and how they can make this successful is learn from the mistakes of the past. And really like understand that this character is special. This character is different. Allow him to have freedom that I think ultimately, and again, I was talking to Ryan about this right after Extreme Rules on Saturday. Was you look at WWE and you look at the current state of AEW, and you don't WWE doesn't get to that level because Vince ultimately has the control. Had the control. Sometimes right, sometimes wrong. It is what it is. I think there came a point where the vision of the Fiend and Bray Wyatt for Vince ended up being different than the vision for Wyndham. And I think
Right.
that's where problems started, and then everything else going on in his life, and I think he had to get away. Now I think having a guy running everything, and we're already seeing it with people coming back that claim they'd never be back. Good brothers, motherfuckers.
You still mad about that, man?
Tell me how you really feel.
Fucking
Jim.
dorks, man. Seriously. They literally are just fucking I fucking can't stand those guys. I really can't. But, you know, they came back to a place they said they'd never come back to. Braun acted like he'd never come back there, you know, once he started controlling his narrative. And you know, there's others I think that are
that's what you did there. Good job.
Yeah, see. Because I think they look at the fact that I think they look at the fact that you have a guy running it that knows what it's like to do what they're doing. And that's a big thing, especially for a guy like Bray. That because here's the thing, even if Triple H starts to have an idea and wants to kind of turn it or change it or whatever, there's going to be, I think, a different degree of trust there because Triple H has gone through it. So, like, to me, it's just let the character be. Don't try to force things. And yeah, the pandemic changed Bray Wyatt because they could do things that you'd never get to do in front of a live crowd. All the different stuff with Alexa and the, you know, the spooky stuff with dropping lighting rigs and all this shit and burning him fucking alive. Like, as cool of a visual as that is, like, obviously you're never doing that in front of a live crowd.
Of course.
No. But
so
that was fucking awesome though.
Oh, it was fucking great. And
Randy hit the pose on the way out also.
Hell yeah. And I mean, like, they took liberties because they could.
Yeah.
But like in the same time, they forgot about the fact that eventually fans were going to come back.
And that's the thing I appreciate about that era is that the chance they took on things.
Absolutely.
They just threw the book out. Fuck it.
They utilized the fact that the majority, I think a lot of their shows were pre-taped because it didn't have to be live. Like, that was the beauty of the thing. Like, so much of what they did was you know, it was in the fantasy world. And that, so but yeah, now I'm so intrigued by what they can do and where they're going to take it. Like, I fucking can't wait, man. I haven't been this excited about a wrestler or a match or a segment on wrestling TV in a very long time.
All right, wrestlers of the week.
Yay.
Mike, ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. So should we go with Rob? Should we give Rob 3 picks today? Since,
yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Rob, you go first. The rest of the week.
Yeah, of the week. All right.
Pick one.
Of the week. All right. We go Gunther and Sheamus for obvious reasons. They're both kind of intertwined. And
wait. So we do round robin. So we do.
I'm sorry.
Go, so you pick one. So you want to go with Gunther first?
No, don't apologize. Ernest didn't explain it to you. He's a
sorry about that.
Shocker.
My bad.
Yes. Okay.
You go around and around, but you'll have 3 though. You'll have 3. We need 9 per week. So, all right. So you have Gunther. All right. Michael.
Give me the new All Atlantic Transcontinental Nova Scotia champion. Give me freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy.
Dude, that was simultaneous. Good job, Jim. All right, Jim, go ahead. You.
Dude, I literally have just talked about this man for the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's Bray fucking Wyatt for me. Number 1 with a bullet this week.
Give me My girl who defended her Roman Championship at Extreme Rules successfully. Give me Bianca Belair.
Respectfully.
Mm-hmm.
Respectfully.
Not their best match they've
Toss
done.
it.
Good match, but not the best match. But a good match.
Yeah. Mike knows.
Sauce it.
Sauce it.
I
If you listen to the three
Yeah, that shit was fucking
podcast from Tuesday,
today. I was cracking up this morning. I was listening to it today. I was
Sauce
cracking the fuck.
you know what's up.
All right, Rob, go again.
Okay, Sheamus, the other half.
All right.
You know, yeah.
All right.
Moose.
Sheamus. He's awesome.
All
Go ahead, Mike.
right, my last pick for this week. Yeah, I'm not taking that person. No chance.
Why?
Why would you take Ronda Rousey?
No, that was person. Okay.
I'm gonna take the new United States champion. Give me Seth Franklin Rollins.
Motherfucker.
You're welcome.
Seth Franklin. Love it. Not freaking Franklin. Get shit
Oh,
right,
Raw.
dog.
WWE put out Franklin on a fucking
Oh yeah.
email, so I'm gonna roll with it.
Did
Frank.
what?
Yeah, it was actually somebody screwed up and typed it wrong.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Jim.
Give me the new GCW
Ooh.
champion with a victory over
Nick fucking
John-
Gage. Nick
John
fucking Gage.
Moxley, Nick effing Gage.
All right. I know Mike won't do it, so I'll do it just for the sake of acknowledging a title change. Give me Ronda Rousey. Just to acknowledge the title change.
She will make my top 25 this month.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Shocker.
No, you know what? She'll be 25th.
Just
That's
because.
fine.
Just
Just cause. All right, Rob, get the last pick here.
All right, Josh Alexander. He defended his title twice. Well, one of the matches was taped tonight. You know, one was on tonight, but 2 title defenses in 1 week. Josh Alexander.
Hey, hard work. And those are this week's rest of the week. They'll be lumped into our rankings for the end of this month. All right, good show, guys. As always, Rob, thanks for on the podcast. We really appreciate it. Any final
Thanks
word?
for having me.
Anything you want to plug?
Yes. Okay. So you can hear me, Jason, and DJ on the Mindless Wrestling podcast every week. We're usually up on Friday. We're part of the Chair Shot Radio Network. And you can hear me when I get around to recording new episodes. You can hear me talk about pretty much everything on the
He's
Rob the
slacking again.
Genius. Yeah,
Again. Yeah.
on the Rob the Genius podcast. And
Don't harass me, Jay.
yes.
It happened.
You're worse than he is. Well, at least you have 2 other shows to count for that, though.
You're a terrible host, EJ.
mute his microphone.
So that's where you can hear me now. I haven't actually written anything in a while, so I won't plug anything I've written because I haven't written anything in a while. But so for now, you can listen to me in those 2 places.
Yeah, I was actually on his podcast a couple weeks
Yes,
ago.
and
Fun
you were, and
time.
it was excellent, man.
Fun time. Talk something, Mike. You won't care about. It's all things politics. You don't care about that shit, so it's okay. Grown up shit.
No, I just don't want anybody else telling me how I should do this or do that. So fuck
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with you, brother. All right, Jim, plug what you got to plug.
Yeah, well, there is that Discussions with the Nobody podcast at DWA and Pod on Twitter, Discussions with the Nobody on Facebook.
Is one coming soon?
I may try to get one. May try to get one recorded this weekend. Depends how tired I am. I've been kind of burning the candle both ends this week, especially. I mean,
you and I both.
Good Christ, I've been sitting in this fucking podcast chair for the last 5 hours. But it is what it is, man. We keep it going. 3 Count Thursday, 3CT. You can this way.
Lovely shirt.
Here we go. You can get that over at tpublic.com. But 3countthursday.com ultimately has our YouTube podcast links, social media links, everything, merchandise. I know this weekend TeePublic has a sale, 35% off everything. So you probably want to head over there this weekend and grab stuff. It would be really great. We appreciate the support there. Huddle Up Podcast at Huddle Up Podcast on Twitter and Facebook. I deal with this motherfucker way too many days out of the week. me and EJ, and Mike chimes in too. But
You chimed in too much.
no, he doesn't. But like I said, at Huddle Up Podcast on Facebook and Twitter, we have the link tree there that gets you to all of our podcast links, our YouTube link, our T Public merchandise site on that one as well. So again, 35% off. This is the weekend to do it. So check that out. But yeah, you can find me at Big Jim Sports on Twitter, and always a blast. Rob, it was a pleasure having you on this week too.
By the way, you appeared on the student game podcast.
Yeah, I did
well.
last night. I was on this week's Student of the Game report. So yeah, I talking about the Cowboys and trying to speak some sense into people about motherfucking Riptide Rush.
It's a great Gatorade flavor.
Chill the fuck out, people. He's a backup quarterback. Chill out.
Although I gotta say, as much as I hate the Cowboys as a Washington fan, I love Cocaine Michael Irvin on First Take every Monday.
I do. I send Jim a clip
Michael
every
Irvin.
single Monday morning of Michael. They clip it on YouTube now.
There's only one person in this world that loves the Dallas Cowboys more than Jerry Jones, and that's Michael Irvin.
The finger looking good thing was the best, dude. 2 weeks ago.
He's
fantastic. Mike, did you see that? Oh, you gotta see, it's great.
Oh,
Oh
man,
my god, you
outstanding.
got it. And it was at our expense with the Giants too, for the record. So whatever, it sucks, but whatever.
which makes it even better.
Fuck off, Jim. Go ahead, Mike.
You can follow me on Twitter at They Call Me Burn. You can listen to me chime in on the Huddle Up podcast on the Big Jim Sports Network. If you're bored and you go into that Huddle Up feed and you scroll up a little bit, hockey preview as hockey season just started. Me and Jim dive into the land of the frozen pond water.
Go Rangers.
We talk about hockey. Fuck the Rangers. So fuck that.
We beat them on Monday.
Eventually, I'll make my actual Huddle Up debut and the Bengals win the Super Bowl or something weird, right? You know, something crazy like that happens. You can listen to me on the Earnestly Speaking podcast either on Tuesday or Thursday, depending on what day my day off is, where I wreck this fool in power rankings.
Bullshit. Next question.
Also, Coastal Carolina, somebody pick them this week so we can pick a game for the love of Christ.
Who the fuck are they? Just kidding. I'm joking.
Other than that, great show as always, guys. I worked 11 hours today, and it's 1 a.m. and I have to be back to work at like 8:30. So
what are you doing
going
here?
to bed.
Where's Joe? Fucking God.
Not sleeping on my couch.
That's all we know.
Guy. Of course, Earth Speaker Podcast. Of course, all podcast catchers. We drop shows every Tuesday and Thursday. Having a good time with that, of course. Other than that, I'm on Twitter at eachperson7. Substack, earnspeaking.substack.com. I guess that's it. Great show, Rob. Thanks again for coming on, man. It was awesome.
Thanks for having me, man.
Awesome. Guys, check it out later. Talk to you guys later. Take the Wrestling on Twitter as well. Have a good weekend.